This is Liberty Nation TV with your host, Scott D. Cosenza, and I'm joined today by Mark Angelides, managing editor for LibertyNation.com from across the pond. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Scott.
He's not in Vegas, but they have quite liberal betting laws in the UK. In fact, some might say that's where you really do have a free market in wagering and risk. At the high end, probably by Lloyd's of London. At the low end, next to a chip shop betting hall, where you can wager on the outcome of our presidential election, among other things. And that's what he's here to talk about. So once again, welcome, and we look forward to your report upon the betting odds, which have changed quite a bit in the past week, Mark.
They have. What's really happened this week is there was rumor floating that former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg would be entering the race. He's at least signed his paperwork for the Alabama primary. So what this has done is it's really thrown, as we say in the UK, it's thrown a spanner in the works, or you might say a wrench in the works for everybody else, essentially. So he jumped in almost as a top tier candidate at 11-1 to win the nomination, which is blasts Hillary Clinton out the water, who's still holding in there. Cory Booker's nowhere to be seen. Kamala Harris must be suffering today. And even the others, even the other more top-tier candidates, your Elizabeth Warren, your Bernie Sanders, your Joe Biden, they're all feeling a bit of a pinch from the Bloomberg experience.
Well, what are the specific numbers showing in terms of the nomination?
Okay, so for the nomination, you've got Elizabeth Warren's holding very, very firm still in the top spot. She's at 17-10 at the moment, closely followed by Joe Biden, about 3-1, and Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg. Buttigieg's having a very good run these last 3 or 4 weeks. They're both tied at 5-1 to win the nomination. Bloomberg is now sitting at 12-1, so he's just on the cusp of knocking Andrew Yang out.
Do we have a sense of there's a term called the smart money in terms of the parlance of Vegas betting odds, which is to say that when a college football is perhaps and pro football is perhaps the biggest betting tills for Americans, and the alumni of a certain school perhaps, or the people who live in the town of a certain team bet not necessarily rationally like the smart money does, and that's why the differentiator. Is there a sense of where the smart money is right now on these bets?
For the nomination, smart money is definitely going with Warren at the moment, and even if Bloomberg does enter the race fully, the odds are kind of looking like it will come down to Warren and Bloomberg, because Bloomberg fairly moderate, ran as a Republican twice, an independent once, but of course he's now firmly in the Democrat camp, obviously donating over $100 million to the DNC over the last.
That's not the donation of money is not his weak suit, to be sure.
No.
Well, I will ask the follow-up now. What is the implication for the 2020 general election?
Well, here's the thing. Elizabeth Warren is almost a shoo-in, as we say, to win the nomination. However, her odds of actually winning the presidency have just not even gone up. They've actually gone down. And Donald Trump is now at 6-5 to win the presidency, which is pretty good. I mean, that's if you bet $1, you get $2.20 back.
Mark, we're recording this on Veterans Day, 11/11, at the start of impeachment week. How is the impeachment investigation and the stories about same affecting these odds?
Well, that's the funny thing. They're not at all. Now, the odds of Trump being impeached are at 1-6, which is, that's pretty high, 1-6. So there's a very good chance that impeachment does move forward to the Senate. Whether he'll actually be found guilty or not, the money bettors don't think so. They're still betting sure that Donald Trump wins the presidency again. So it's just really bizarre that nobody who's got skin in the game, as it were, thinks the impeachment will amount to removing him from office or to denying him the second term as president.
Final question, Mark. Have you put your quid where your mouth is? Have you gone down to the shop and placed a wager?
I couldn't possibly comment on that.
Cheers Thank you for joining us from across the pond. Mark Angelides.
Pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Hi, folks. Lisa K. Donner here, editor-in-chief of LibertyNation.com. We hope you enjoyed watching this video, maybe even learned a thing or two. If so, please take a moment and subscribe to our YouTube channel right down there in the corner. Thanks so much.